We live in an age defined by constant data stream. Before 8 a.m., most of us have already consumed more information than our medieval ancestors did in an entire week. This deluge starts the moment we open our eyes, a knee-jerk reaction to check the phone, scan the headlines, or absorb the anxieties of the digital world. This instant information intake hijacks your prefrontal cortex, sacrificing deep work potential for superficial reactivity. The zero input hour is the radical countermeasure. 60 minutes dedicated to consuming absolutely nothing. No news, no music, no social media, just pure mental construction. This deliberate pause is not about deprivation. It's about reclaiming ownership of your first cognitive cycles, ensuring that the critical, formative thoughts of your day belong entirely to you, setting a powerful precedent for focus and intention. The first hour after waking is crucial because your brain is transitioning gently from delta and theta waves, characteristic of deep sleep, into the sharper, more active beta waves necessary for complex thinking. This transitional state is incredibly sensitive and holds peak neuroplasticity and creativity potential. Introducing complex or stressful external stimuli, like breaking news or urgent emails, immediately floods the system with cortisol. This neurochemical throws the body into a state of reactionary stress, short-circuiting your ability to establish proactive, high-level thinking later in the day. By keeping input at zero, you allow the brain to naturally clear the mental fog and consolidate thoughts, ensuring that you start the day directed by your intention rather than dictated by the urgent, trivial demands of others. The most challenging part of implementing the zero input hour is severing the habitual tether to your smartphone. The phone cannot be your alarm, as it is the gateway drug to digital distraction. Use a dedicated analog alarm clock placed far enough away that you must physically stand to silence it. Upon waking, the zero input boundary is absolute. The phone must remain on airplane mode, locked away or in a completely different room until the zero input hour is complete. If the device is required for specific health tracking or light, essential use, the screen must display absolutely zero notifications. This physical separation is non-negotiable. It creates the necessary friction that prevents the subconscious craving for distraction from winning the early morning battle and polluting your sacred mental space. Your body needs gentle activation before your mind engages complex cognitive tasks. The zero input hour often begins with simple physical acts. Start with a large glass of water, perhaps with a squeeze of lemon to rehydrate after sleep. Follow this with 10 to 15 minutes of very gentle movement. This is not a high-intensity workout designed to spike your heart rate. It's stretching, light mobility work, or simply moving through space mindfully. Crucially, this must be done in silence or with only natural ambient sound like birdsong. Avoid the temptation to put on a podcast, audiobook, or motivational music. The silence prevents external narrative from dominating your inner dialogue, allowing your own thoughts, ideas, and underlying anxieties to surface naturally and without external prompting or judgment. This is the core of the zero input philosophy. 20 minutes dedicated entirely to stillness or focused internal reflection. Many utilize this time for mindfulness meditation, but even simple contemplative breathing or observing the subtle details of the room around you works. The goal is to observe the chaos and noise of the mind without immediately adding to it or judging it. You are practicing the skill of non-reactionary presence. When thoughts about the day's tasks, worries, or yesterday's stressors inevitably arise, acknowledge them as temporary mental events, but immediately return your focus to your anchor, your breath, or the sensation of your body on the floor. This disciplined process grounds your attention, reduces intrusive thoughts, and significantly improves working memory capacity for the rest of your productive day. While external digital input is banned, intentional mental output is highly encouraged. Use the final segment of the zero input hour, perhaps 25 minutes, for focused analog planning. This includes journaling, brain dumping any lingering tasks, or explicitly writing out your top 3 high-leverage priorities for the day on paper.
Since you haven't yet been influenced by external demands, emails, or the demands of the world, these priorities are guaranteed to be genuinely aligned with your long-term goals and personal values. Using pen and paper leverages a different cognitive pathway than typing on a screen, deepening the connection between the thought and the necessary action. This step transforms the mental clarity gained from stillness into tangible, actionable direction for the entire day ahead.
What does this counterintuitive discipline actually yield in practical terms? The most immediate and profound benefit is the radical reduction in decision fatigue. By front-loading your day with intentional quiet, physical maintenance, and priority setting, you minimize the hundreds of micro-decisions related to digital stimuli. You save your brain power for genuinely challenging problems. Furthermore, the practice dramatically enhances attention residue. When you finally transition to structured work tasks, your focus is sharper because the lingering tasks from the previous hour, such as scrolling or news consumption, do not linger in the background, diverting precious cognitive resources. You transition from being a passive recipient of information to the active, focused master of your own attention, ready to tackle complex work with ease. Many dedicated individuals attempt this hack, but fail due to subtle, self-imposed loopholes. The classic mistake is confusing zero input with mindless entertainment. Listening to a podcast, even a highly productive or educational one, is still external input. It loads someone else's narrative and agenda into your mind when you should be generating your own. Checking the weather app just quickly often leads to a quick, insidious scroll through the major headlines. Another major pitfall is setting the bar impossibly high initially. Start with 30 minutes of zero input if 60 feels completely overwhelming. Consistency and adherence to the spirit of the rule are far more powerful than intensity in forming sustainable habits. Remember, the rule is fundamentally simple. If data or complex narrative is entering your consciousness, your input hour is compromised, and the cognitive benefits are significantly diluted. The most common objection to the zero input hour is the claim of not having 60 minutes available before the workday begins. This resistance usually masks a prioritization problem, not an actual time shortage. If you truly have to be at work by 7:30 a.m., you must strategically shift the zero input hour earlier, perhaps 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. If you genuinely cannot afford 60 minutes due to childcare or other fixed obligations, commit fiercely to a 15-minute block of zero-input meditation and hydration. The point is to define a non-negotiable sacred block where mental clarity reigns supreme. You are not finding time. You are creating it by sacrificing low-value evening activities, like the late-night social media session, or eliminating the ritual of hitting the morning snooze button repeatedly. The sacrifice yields incredible returns. To make the zero input hour stick and become automatic, employ proactive environmental design. Prepare absolutely everything the night before. Lay out your comfortable clothes, set your analog alarm, fill your water bottle, and place your journal open on the desk with a pen ready. This crucial step reduces the mental activation energy required upon waking, making adherence easy. Also, designate a specific zero-input zone in your home, a chair, a corner, or a specific balcony, that is explicitly known and used as a screen-free space. This spatial anchoring powerfully reinforces the habit loop. Use the first few days as a simple observational exercise, focusing not on perfection, but on increasing the duration of your input immunity, forgiving yourself when you slip, and returning quickly to the practice the following morning. Sustaining the zero input hour transforms more than just your mornings. It fundamentally changes your long-term relationship with technology itself. You begin to view your phone not as an integrated extension of yourself, but merely as a tool that serves specific functions when you choose to use it, rather than one that controls your subconscious impulses. Over weeks and months, the frantic, often stressful need to immediately consume external data diminishes, and your default mental state shifts toward thoughtful proactivity and considered response, moving away from reactionary anxiety. This habit acts as a permanent protective layer, shielding your precious attention economy from the corrosive and demanding effects of digital noise, giving you consistent, reliable control over your moods, priorities, and intellectual output. The zero input hour is not a trivial productivity hack or a temporary fad. It is a profound commitment to self-respect and mental sovereignty. It acknowledges a simple truth. The ultimate quality of your daily output is determined by the quality of your initial input, or in this case, the lack thereof. By prioritizing peak mental clarity before the external world demands your attention, you guarantee that your day is built on a foundation of solid, self-directed intention and focused energy. I challenge you to take the plunge. Commit to 7 days of zero input before 8 a.m. and observe the monumental shift in your productivity, peace, and cognitive bandwidth. Don't let your day start by fighting fires set by strangers. Start it by consciously building your fortress of focus. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on how to master your mind and time.